Well, I had thought of coming up here on the way up, and then it was too far out of the way. And then I got really bored sitting around Edmonton. So I thought, I'll just pop down here, even though I realized it was 2.5 hours down and 2.5 hours back again. But I mean, I think it's kind of worth it. Look at that, I didn't even know there was hoodoos on this side. This is Dry Island Buffalo Jump, and that's the Red Deer River down below. This was made when I was way back in the Stone Age, when I was working for Provincial Parks. This was made a provincial park because I think the Minister of Parks at the time didn't have a park in his riding, so they made one down here. Now, in reality, my cousin Rob Brennan asked if I knew exactly where the Buffalo Jump was, and in reality I think they could have used any part of this, anywhere where they could maneuver, you know, depending where the herds were grazing, where they would set up their dead men and their runs and pursue them off. What I was saying to him, I don't know if you can kind of see it, where the valley cuts in behind, there, that cliff lawn there. What I was saying to him was down below that, in that all that sloughed area, who knows how long that's been sloughing, and that's where, when I was working here with parks, the parks people and the workers and myself were finding buffalo bones, where the cow trails, you know, cut through the sod. It was all in that kind of rough area. I don't know if I can even see it from here, but at one time the road goes down. You can just, I don't know if you can make it out there. I'll go down there, but you can kind of make out where the road curls around and then comes down. And somewhere in there was a little track. They've probably let it get overgrown. This might be a footpath down below, but that wasn't it. There was a track, I think, that ran across that flat part that peels off, then it comes up again. That step in there, there was a bit of a track, and I drove my Jimmy down there one time, and I did get as far as I could below that cliff. And the same thing, that's why I was thinking at that time that was the Buffalo Jump. But like I say, in these badlands here, I mean, I've seen in Pincher Creek where they the First Nations, they ran buffalo just off a steep hill. I mean, there wasn't even a cliff. They just got them going, and they would, you know, somebody would stumble and fall, and the rest would fall all over each other, and they'd get killed and injured, and then they could be carved up for dinner. The one thing I could never quite figure out was where the dry island was. Anyway, this is from the viewpoint. It's very viewpointish, and I'll go down and see if I can. I have a feeling that the outhouses that we built way back in 1973 or 4 or something or other aren't the ones that I built. But we'll go down and have a look. Well, look at this. Look at this. Saskatoons. They're probably well picked along here. Eunice, bring your bucket. There's a lot that aren't ready, so I say they've probably been picked. Now these could be the outhouses. We may have prefabbed them in Edmonton and then brought them down here. They definitely have different roof We had cedar shingle roofs on the ones that we built. It seems to me when I was here years later with Jim and Dave, I didn't think they were the same buildings. Because the ones we did were, I thought they were really nice. They had the cedar siding on the bias. So that's why I really don't know. I really don't think these are the ones. But I'll just do a brief stroll. Maybe go down to the water. They say there's a boat launch, but okay, maybe go down to the water where we were frolicking so many years ago. Looks like the boat launch is a picnic or a swimming area now. It is, and it's very warm. It's very warm down here. And it is it's become much more lush than what I remembered. I mean, I do remember the spruce trees or lodgepole pine or whatever they are on the far side. The river looks quite full and spring-like. Of course, still a little bit of Saskatoon. It is, at least at this particular area, this is no definite, defined hiking trail or whatever. So I was just gonna, seems to me back in those days, we were able to drive right down to the corner and then we just hiked over the berm and went splishy splashy, so I don't know if it's worth. It's nice to get out of the vehicle though. Nice to get out from behind the wheel. I don't know what possessed me to do this today, but I guess I had got it in my head that I would like to see dry island buffalo jump again. After all these years. Of course, our little swimming expedition is the last time we were here, so otherwise hiking up into those rough country there could be quite strenuous. But as I was saying, everything's so grown up. You can't even see the river. That is probably a flood bank, you know. Okay, I'll let you know when I find something. So I don't know if oh, grasshopper. I don't know if Jim or Dave would remember, but you can see a grass-covered mini island there, just at the corner with a bit of rapids. Well, when we were here back in the mid-70s, 75 or 74, 75, that was just a sandbar. And we swam out from this corner here, well, swam out, waded out, and frolicked on the sandbar while the odd canoeist went by on the river. I was sure it was much farther out. Than it is now. I think there was more trees on the berm up here too. Anyway, we can see a little bit more around the bend and the high cliffs. So from this point anyway, from this point of view, I would say that what I've never driven out underneath that one. It would have been more back this way, and that's like I was saying, that's where some bones and the buffalo teeth and stuff were found, and I don't think I ever got that far. I don't think I could have driven that far out. But like I said, I'm sure the First Nations people, would have been, at least in semi-historical times, it would have been Blackfoot country until they got well, they kind of moved south, and then whether they were pushed by the Cree or just they were doing the pushing against the Shoshone, and then the plagues of smallpox and stuff decimated them. But their ancestors would have been there. But it's like I say, they wouldn't need a 90-foot cliff. I mean, even old woman buffalo jump or head smashed in buffalo jump are not massive cliffs. If they even got some buffalo down in the coulees here and funneled them over a steep hill, they would probably fall and break their necks and stuff. I'm getting myself all into a tangle of bush here. I guess that's what happens when you turn a place into a park. It gets overgrown. At this point, there doesn't seem to be any prepared trails. Oh, wait. More Saskatoons. You just cannot, whoops. You just can't walk by them. Anyway, down the valley is the Tolman Badlands campsite. We used to camp there quite often, even after we were married. We'd come up from Calgary. There seems to be a lot of greenery along the shores that I don't remember. I know there's a big dam now, Dixon Dam, controlling the Red Deer River, so maybe it doesn't do its flash flood in the spring anymore. It's more controlled. I've got ants crawling on me. A little bit higher up the bank. See a little further down. Of course, this is this is July 5th or something or other. It is very green. It can be, well, that's the thing, it is Badlands. So in a month or so it could end up very, very brown. Let's see if I can find my way up there a little bit. I didn't get very far and already there's prickly pear. Looks like they've already blossomed. So they're a little bit ahead of where we were out there in southern Alberta. You would have thought the south would have been ahead. But there was no yellow flowers. Just the cactus. But we are too far south, or too far north anyway, for rattlesnakes. I mean, there might be the odd garter snake or whatever. But oh, what do we got here? What's happening here? Oh, that falls down cliff. Little teeny tiny little gooseberries. Yeah. They're not even that tangy. They're very good. Wild harvest. It's over the hill. We'll have a look. Oh, it's already started, but it's got everything sideways. I hope this doesn't turn out sideways. There's a tiny little bone, whether it's ancient buffalo bone or not, but holy mackerel, you can really feel the heat as you move away from the river. There's a nice breeze coming up across the river. See, down below here, I don't know, it still looks too rough to me, but wherever they would have, I mean, that cliff there looks, you know, the one thing about it, it looks a good place to run buffalo off the top, but that means everybody for the slaughter, for the harvesting, you'd have to get up there too, and then get everything back down. Whereas that flat where they actually have the outhouses and stuff like that almost seems like a better place for a slaughter camp, but then you'd have to bring everything down. Unless they worked in very small bands, and these little rough coulees weren't a big obstacle. They look like an obstacle to me, especially, you know, 1,000-pound animals that you want to carve into pieces, and all you have is your women and your dogs to pull the parts down to where they can be worked on. You would have to have a fairly flat area to be able to set up your camp. Walking through buckbrush and I'm in shorts. So it's kind of ow, ow, ow. But in those days, well, not those days, but in our younger days, in the 70s and stuff like that, we'd be in moccasins. That's how you were guaranteed to find cactus. 6-inch prickly pear thorn goes through the side of your moccasins. I always say that's why the natives invented the horse. And there used to be a little barrel cactus too that had a pink flower, but when it didn't have the little pink flower, it was just a little bump in the grass, and you'd step on that in your moccasins for sure. Anyway, here's some mini hoodoos, mini rocks. I don't know if I can get down there without falling on my face. Whether or not there'd be any bones sticking out, I don't know. But anyway, I'll probably work my way back to the Jeep and spend another 2.5 hours getting all the way back to Edmonton. Yay! I can hardly wait. I think there's part of the road coming down. I mean, that's a long way down here. Cool. Hopefully the last one worked. Everything was on its side, so it may end up with one of those ones that I have to delete, but I was just noticing here, this round, you know, this flat on one side, even a bit of a line. Don't know if that would have been a hammerhead or something to crush something. This little juniper hasn't got their berries quite yet. They usually taste like gin. Juniper berries taste like gin. I'm always a little leery of junipers because one time on Table Mountain, west of Pincher Creek, we sat down for our lunch and thought it'd be a nice soft place to sit on the juniper, and it turned out there was 10 million ticks in there, and we took 500,000 home in our pockets and pouches and stuff like that. That was lots of fun. This is you'd almost say it's an ancient debris flow or something or other. Standing juniper there. creeping juniper down below. But just, oh, more prickly pear, cactus. But just a cursory glance, that's probably little stains of coal even. I don't see anything that leaps out at me that says buffalo bones. Not that you're supposed to. Oh, there's deer tracks. Hopefully before the battery runs out, this picture telling you that that flat out there with the trees on it and the banks all around it, that is the dry island. Here's the picture. Dry island. I always wondered where the dry island was. Well, there it is. It's got badlands on one side and the river on the other. So that is the dry island. And this is the tallest, I guess, the tallest buffalo jump in Alberta. Well, I'm on my way back to Edmonton.